What is going on, fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money Online Trainer podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about being absolutely fucking delusional when it comes to your self-belief. Now, listen, all of us struggle with our mindset, every single one of us. And I think that the core motivating factor between, the people that actually end up making it in this world, the people that end up making the money they want to make, getting the body that they want, getting the fucking house they want, getting the car that they want, building the business they want. The only limiting factor that will ever stand between you and greatness is yourself. It is your mindset. It is your ability to see a project in completion and then work all the way through until it's done. And if you guys don't listen to what I'm about to tell you guys in today's podcast, you're going to self-sabotage and you're going to constantly come against yourself where you're like, in momentum and shit's going your way, then all of a sudden you feel like, you just stop doing the things that's making you successful. If you don't listen to what I'm going to tell you guys in today's podcast, you're going to procrastinate. And what you're going to do is you're going to put off the things that you know you need to do. And even while you're procrastinating, you know that you should be working, but you're just not doing it. And if you guys don't listen to what I'm going to talk about in today's podcast, you're going to allow your fear of failure, your fear of, not seeing yourself all the way through, your fear of not being able to achieve your goals, you're going to allow that fear to get in the way of you and your dreams. But if you guys tap the fuck in, and if you listen to what I'm about to say, you're going to achieve everything that you could ever want. You're going to surpass every expectation that you could ever have. And you're going to accomplish things in your life that you previously thought were impossible. Now, before I get into self-belief and where it comes from and like what it really stems from, I want to have a conversation about where you came from. And I want to talk about the environment that you grew up in. Because when we're born, we're a blank slate. I come out as a baby. I don't speak English or Chinese or Japanese or whatever. I'm literally born into this family. And whatever my family is, if my family's English speaking, then I learn English. If they're Chinese speaking, I learn Chinese. If they are rich, then I learn rich habits. If they, live poor, I live poor habits. And so we inherit everything in our life from our parents. It's from the people that raise us. It's from the people that we're around when we're children. It's from our outside influences when we were a kid. And so when you think about what you end up doing with your life, as in the career that you get into and the way that your body looks and the type of relationship that you have, a lot of it has to do with your past conditioning, AKA the things that you saw every single day when you were growing up and the environment that you were around every single day when you were growing up and the influences that you had every single day when you were growing up ended up causing you to think the way that you think. Now, why is this so important to understand? It's so important to understand is you are not who you think you are, okay? You are not who you think you are because you have just been conditioned to believe that it is the way it is, It is the way it is. If you're, making $25 an hour, that is the way it is. If you were born into a family that struggles for money, it is the way it is. And if you had no idea how to make your business successful online, that is the way it is. And you've been conditioned to believe that you just got to go along with the crowd and blend in and be like everybody else and fucking fit in and be a sheep and go to school and get a job and get married and have 2 kids and let yourself go and get into a marriage where you're unhappy and let your body go. Like that's what everybody fucking does. Look at 95% of society. I'm sorry. 95% of society is not doing what the fuck they want to do with their life. So why is that? Right? Why is that? It's because we get conditioning from our parents, our coworkers, our environment, our friends, our family, pass on their beliefs to us, and we just end up acting out our conditioning. And even though you might not be happy with your life right now, you might not be happy with the money that you're making, the car that you're driving, the house that you live in, the way that your body looks, the relationship that you're in, even though you might not be happy with your current situation, you stay in it. Why would you stay in a situation that makes you unhappy? Why would you work at a job that you don't fucking like? Why would you be in a relationship that doesn't fulfill you? Why would you look at yourself in the mirror and not be proud of the person looking back at you? What would cause us to do these things? Tell me, why the fuck would I do something I knew wasn't making me happy? There's only one reason. Is because I don't believe that there's a better life for me, period. There's only one reason. The only reason you would stay in a life where you know you are unhappy is because you do not believe that there is a better life for you. Period. Full stop. End of story. So how do we get out of this? Right? Like, how do we shift our perspective? How do we shift our mentality? How do we shift our reality? Like, guys, I was forced into this, okay? And I think that a lot of you guys end up waiting until you're forced into it too. And as somebody who was forced into making this decision, now I don't let myself go there. And so for me to start believing in myself, I literally had to fucking lose everything. I had to lose everything. This is when I was an addict. I lost my fucking car. I lost my house. I lost my friends. I lost my trust in myself. I lost my fitness. I lost relationships. I lost everything because I was an addict. And so when I was an addict and I was at rock bottom, and this is what most people do, right? They wait until it gets so fucking bad that they can no longer tolerate their life. They can't stand the fact that they've gained 50 pounds, or they can't stand the fact that they hate their job, or they can't stand the fact that their partner doesn't support them. They wait until it gets so bad that they absolutely must make a change. And that's what I did. I just waited until it was so bad. I knew I wasn't happy, but it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until finally I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I can't fucking tolerate this anymore. I will no longer accept this. And for me, self-belief was necessary because my life was shit. Okay. My life was literal shit. And, I didn't have friends. I didn't have a job. I didn't have trust. I was in debt to drug dealers. I had nothing. And so the only thing I had was delusional self-belief. The only thing that separated me was delusional self-belief. So I would go to the gym and I wasn't thinking about the workout that I was doing that day. I was thinking about the fucking trophy that I was going to win when I stepped on stage. I'd work on my business and I wasn't thinking about making that post that day. I was thinking about the fact that I was going to be a fucking millionaire one day. When I started lead genning for my business, I wasn't thinking about signing the client. I was remembering that I'm going to hit $10,000 a month and I was going to do whatever the fuck was necessary to do it, including the day-to-day tasks that I didn't want to do. And the reason that I was able to continue doing the things that I didn't want to do, even on the days where I felt like shit, even on the days where I didn't want to, even on the days where I felt self-doubt, is because I had a delusional level of self-belief. And a delusional level of self-belief was literally me reading this fucking vision where I was talking to myself saying, like, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to have a supercar. I'm going to live in a mansion. I'm going to own a gym. I'm going to have a beautiful wife, when I had nothing. That's called delusion. The reason I say delusion is because everybody on the outside would think it was fucking insane. Like if I told people what I was reading on the days that I was recovering from my addiction, if I showed them my Microsoft Word document that said I was going to be a millionaire, they'd be like, are you fucking crazy? Are you crazy? Yes, I'm fucking crazy. I'm crazy for greatness. And this is the thing, right? Like so many of you guys end up setting goals. You're like, okay, I want to change my life, B. I want to fucking do it. I'm going to change my life. So you end up setting goals that you can hit. So you set a goal. You're like, I'm going to hit $2,000 a month. And that's your goal. And then you hit 2K. You're like, okay, cool. Now that I got to 2K, I'm going to get to 10. And then you get to 10 and then you're like, oh shit. And then you never end up dreaming any bigger because you don't allow yourself to get delusional with what your life could be like. But if I would have set the goal of making 100K a year when I was an addict, I would have hit it. Like we always like hit the goals that we set. And so the reason you're not achieving the goals that you want to achieve, the reason that you're not doing the work that you need to do, the reason that you're not showing up the way that you need to show up is because you're not delusional enough with your self-belief. And like when I'm talking delusional, I'm talking you need to be fucking crazy. Like everybody in your world, if they looked at your goals, should tell you that it's outlandish, that it's too much, that it's like you're dreaming too big. Everybody that you know should tell you that you're dreaming too big. That's delusion. And then here's where the delusion gets fucking fantastic, and I love it, is when you get delusional with your self-belief, like at first, you can't tell anyone. You want to know why? Because you haven't done shit. So why would they believe you? Right? Like you can't tell your friends and family, like, I'm going to be a millionaire one day when like you've been broke your whole fucking life. So you have to get delusional and then you have to go to yourself by yourself every day. And you got to pull out the goals, the dream, the destination, the place that you'd like to reach. And then you've got to tell yourself every day, I'm going to do this shit. Like I'm the one, like it's me. I'm not going to be the generational curse. I'm not going to be the person that passes down the beliefs that were passed down to me, to my kids. I'm going to pass down a different set of beliefs to my kids. I'm going to pass down the beliefs of a fucking champion to my kids. I'm going to be the one that makes the money in my family. I'm going to be the example in my family. I'm going to be the leader in my social circle. I'm going to be the leader in my community. It's me. I'm the fucking one. And then from that, like self-talk that you do every day and you're repeating it over and over and over and over again, every day you're making the decision. You're going to show up. You're going to be delusional. You're going to be the fucking one. You're going to be your very best. Like over time, what's going to happen is the same thing that happened when you were a kid, is you're just going to condition yourself. because you're doing it every single day. You're showing up every single day. You're putting in the reps every single day. You're working on your mindset every single day. You're telling yourself like you're the fucking one. You're the one that's going to make it. You're the one that's unstoppable. You're the one that has the dreams, that has the goals, that sets the goals and smashes them. It's you. And you start telling yourself that every single day. And then over a long enough period of time, a year, 2 years, 3 years, you start to believe it. Like, listen, okay? Think about how fucking crazy this is. I'm an addict 11 years ago. And I tell my friend, I'm going to drive a Lamborghini in like 7 years. He'd be like, okay, bud. Yes, you're going to drive a Lamborghini. You're going to own a Lamborghini in 7 years. Like, that's fucking insane. And guys, the goals that I have right now, like if I told you, you would think they're fucking insane. And that's the point. I don't want you to understand my goals. And you shouldn't want other people to understand your goals. You should just be having the conversation with yourself literally every day. I'm the fucking one. It is me. I'm unstoppable. I'm a force of nature. I can't be touched. Everything I touch turns to gold. I am abundant. I have money coming to me frequently, easily, and effortlessly from multiple sources. And you tell yourself that every single day. And then all of a sudden, that self-belief that started out as delusional is no longer delusional. It's just your reality. And then people don't look at you like you're crazy. They look at you because you're a source of inspiration. They look at you because you're the one that's leading by example. They look at you because you're the one setting the tone. And like, if I can do this shit, you guys, like if I can do this is why I always talk about my fucking past. Because if I can do this, living in the place that I'm living, making the money that I'm making, having the impact that I have, if I can fucking do this, coming from nothing, starting from like literal shit, there's no reason you can't do it. And this podcast is just a reminder that you don't have to wait until it gets too fucking hard that you can't get out of bed. You don't have to wait until it's too hard that you can't look at yourself in the mirror. You don't have to wait until it's too hard to just fucking like focus on anything. You can literally start today. You can just make the decision. I'm the fucking one. It is me. And listen, like when you have that delusional level of self-belief, like it doesn't matter what the cost is. It doesn't matter. Like if the next level means that I need to fucking pay to be in a bigger room, like I need to pay to be around a mentor that's going to teach me how to be successful, I will fucking do it without hesitation. Why? Because I know I'm going to be successful. And I know for a fact that the universe is pointing me in the direction of my next mentor and it's like guiding me towards hiring this person. I'm absolutely fucking certain it's the right move because I know I'm going to be successful. And that's delusion. I'm absolutely fucking certain. Don't allow your fear of failure to hold you back from going after the dreams that you want. Because listen, you know what's worse than failure? What's worse than failure? 100%, 100 times over, every single day. What's worse than failure is regret. Regret is 10 times more painful than failure will ever be. But you're so afraid of failure that you just let time pass you by without going after the things that you want. And regret, this is the thing about regret, right? Because if you risk failure, yeah, you risk failure in the short term for greatness in the long term. The thing about regret is a slow and painful death. Regret is one of those things that day after day after day after day, as you're letting the days pass and you're not taking any action, you're not fucking doing anything, it slowly eats away at you. And you might deny and you might pretend and you might, act like everything's normal, but you fucking know that you're letting your dreams die because you're not fully committing. It's time to get delusional. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you're the fucking one. It is you. And listen, this shit isn't for everybody. Why? Because a lot of people aren't willing to look at themselves in the mirror and realize that they're the fucking one that created their reality. It's you. It's always been you. It always has been you. And it's always going to be you. And until you accept that fact and you start taking control of your life and you start making the decision that like nothing is going to get in the way between you and your success, you're going to stay in the same fucking place. But for those of you, the chosen few that are going to make the decision to look at themselves in the mirror and be a fucking anomaly, be different than everybody else, be outstanding, be remarkable, be unstoppable, be unbelievable. For you, man, the future is yours. That's it. That's all. I hope you guys have the best day of your entire life, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.